topic is very important for everyone who is a web developer. You are somebody who's in the space of getting content across users online, at a level of quality, at a level of speed that, will create this great user experience. Okay, so moving forward, we'll be dealing with certain things which are we'll be discussing what a content delivery network is. We'll be defining related terms. We'll be talking about how a CDN works, which is the content delivery network. Using the CDN in your web application, advantages of using CDN, companies that provide dedicated CDN services, and we'll have a conclusion. Okay, so what is a content delivery network? A content delivery network is a group of geographically distributed servers that speed up delivery of web content by bringing it closer to where the users are. In simple terms, it means that what a CDN does is that it brings the web content or the online content to where the user is. For example, if you are in Lagos and you, for example, you're just browsing with your phone, okay, and you want to watch a YouTube video. Definitely YouTube servers are not in Nigeria, but they have what we call CDN nodes, mini servers in your locations. So they use this CDN system to be able to get the content closer to you where you are, okay? So for you to understand what CDN is, there are some terms that that you need to understand, okay? So first of all, you want to know what a network is. A network is defined as a group of two or more computer systems. Whenever a computer systems are connected and there's information can pass through from one computer to another, so you have a network. While the internet is more like you're saying, is a network of networks. Internet comprises of all the computers, connected online via addresses. So the internet is a network. Then the server is a computer or system that provides resources, data, or programs to other computers, known as clients over a network. So a server is more like a storage computer, which when required, other computers can pull resources from them, pull information from them, pull data from them, okay? Caching is a technique which I'm sure you must have seen something like caching in your browser where you have to clear the cache. So caching is the technique where that your browser uses to store copies of given resources, especially static information, so you don't have to reload it again. So the CDN system also uses caching, so that when you request for something from the server, it doesn't go twice to go to the server. It just goes once to the server, and from then he doesn't have to go that far again. It just goes to the CDN server closest. And so that's why you notice that when you load the page for the first time, it's on the browser, it may be slow, but after that time, it's faster, because on your browser, they are already stored as static, like with videos. So this is the system YouTube use. Now, a web page is a simple document displayable by browser. So a web page is what we'll be using as, or what we define as the content that the user wants to see. Okay, so how does a CDN work? Like I said, now there are data centers across the globe using caching. What I explained, a process of temporarily copying files so that you can access the internet content faster. So so you can think of CDN like an ATM. Okay, you have a bank, but sometimes the issue is that when everybody goes to the bank, there's so much queue. You could spend before ATM, you could, just to get maybe 5,000 naira, you could spend like 3 hours, right? But now you have ATM all over the country. You don't need to go to the bank. You can even register in a bank in Ikeja, and from Ikorodu here, you can withdraw that money. So that's how the CDN system works. So instead of you going directly to the server, you can just go to the nearest server to you. So it just sends the request to the nearest server to you. So from our definition of related terms, once a user inputs the web address, the domain address, now that address signifies it will go to the server and request for a content. That's before CDN. Now, but after CDN, look from that image there. Now, it doesn't have to go. The moment you make that first request, he only goes there once, okay? It goes to the main server. Let's say, for example, the server is in UK. It goes to the main server, gets the data, and it's stored in the nearest server, in the server closest to you. Let's say you are, for example, you are in Yaba. It will store it. So the next time you are requesting for that information, it won't necessarily have to go that far. So which improves the speed. So in less than a millisecond, you just get, that's what Google does. So they have different, Google has one of the strongest and best CDN system, okay? So we know what, we know how CDN work. Now we'll go to using CDN in your web application. Okay, so if you are a web developer or somebody who's into programming, you're developing web content, mobile content, most of the times the hosting server you're using already have CDN system in place. But if you are, for example, designing an application that is for a larger people, maybe let's say you want to reach out to 1 million people with that application, you will definitely need a dedicated, and you will need a dedicated paid CDN service. So now the purpose of that is that, the purpose of the dedicated paid service is to make sure that your application scales. So when I increase the user, it does not, for example, if we are using 100 people, let's say you tested the application first 100 people, and it took 2 seconds. When somebody types register, it puts in and registers, it takes just 2 seconds to send them the activation link. And you now increase that user from 100 to 1 million. That 2 seconds is not supposed to increase. The application is supposed to work with any number of people. That's the whole idea of CDN. Now, using it in your application, you will need to analyze your application. Why does the application need CDN? Does it really need CDN? Does it really need a dedicated CDN service? Or and what do you want to achieve? You want to reduce it from 5 seconds. It takes, let's say, 5 seconds for it to get to load a page, and you want to reduce it from 5 seconds to 2 seconds. Then you also look at the ones where your users are. So then after you've analyzed the website, then you set up the CDN system. You choose a CDN service to use. Okay, there's a free one provided by Cloudflare. Now you look for where most of your users are, and look for a CDN service provider that has a lot of servers in that area, so that it will promote speed. I'm sure if you wanted to do a company in China, you will not use Google or all of that. You're probably going to have to use a Chinese CDN service. So then after you have done that, you've set up your CDN and you've used it on that web application, right? You will now test the difference. You will test the changes before and after. Is this successful? Okay, so once you have tested that and you discover that, okay, there's been improvement in the speed, so you can say that you have successfully used CDN in your web application for that purpose, for the purpose of increasing the speed or improving the user experience. So next, advantages of using CDN, okay? Providing the best user experience to reducing level of denial of site users, okay? So people don't leave your website because it's not fast. Maximum speed of content delivery to an unlimited number of users anywhere in the world. So speed, it doesn't matter how many people are using that application, speed is guaranteed. You're using the load on the server because all request static files are being redirected to CDN systems, saving on bandwidth and traffic. Improvement in search engines. So because it flows faster, Google search engines will be able to pick up your website faster, and that it gives you protection against DOS attacks. Scammers find it more difficult to achieve that goal because it requires more powerful resources. Okay. And so the next will these are companies that provide dedicated CDN services. We have StackPath, we have Sukuri, we have Cloudflare, we have Key CDN, we have Rackspace, we have Google Cloud CDN, Catchfly, Amazon CloudFront. So if you need a dedicated CDN service, you can just go ahead with this. Now, so in summary, we talked about content delivery, and that content delivery network is a system whereby it gets the group of geographically distributed servers that speed up delivery of a web content by bringing closer to the user. We said that if you want to use CDN in your web, you have to analyze it, you have to set the system up, and you have to test the changes. And you said that the advantages are that it provides the best user experience using the level of denial of site users. And that we give examples of companies that does this, and we have StackPath, Sukuri, and Cloudflare. Okay, so in conclusion, statistics shows that 25% of users will abandon a website that takes longer than 4 seconds to load. 74% of users will abandon a mobile site that takes longer than 5 seconds to load. 46% of users won't return to a poorly performing website. And content delivery network solves this problem. So you must understand when you're creating a website, a mobile application, the role of CDN, and you'll be able to test how fast and how secure, how well, how the user experience is, how great is the user experience. So understanding and using the best CDN service will greatly affect the traffic to your web applications and to affect the user experience, which is the overall purpose of the web application. So thank you for joining, for listening to this presentation. Okay, so if you have any questions, please kindly ask. From anybody, please.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay. Apologies. I was unable to catch the is it full meaning of CDN?
Okay, content delivery network.
Okay, thank you.
If there are no questions, Sam, you can go ahead and ask questions.
Okay, please, I just love someone to tell me what you understand by content delivery network from the presentation so far.
I'm sorry, I was trying to unmute my mic. I have a question. Mine is, what's the difference between content delivery network and digital marketing?
Okay, digital marketers probably will use content delivery network. So digital marketers or digital marketing is a profession. Content delivery network is a system that can be used by a digital marketer or can be used by anybody that's into delivering. If you want to deliver fast content online, then you definitely use that system, CDN services. So so the first is a profession, the other one is more like a system or a tool that can be used by a digital marketer.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I would love somebody to please tell me what CDN, what you understand by CDN from the presentation.
Can I answer the question?
Okay, yes, please.
Okay, from what you said, CDN is just like a tool that brings content closer to the user.
Yes. Thank you very much. So that's it.